Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This video is the continuation of our previous video where Frege made a distinction between meaning and truth. He said that the truth of a statement is different from the meaning of a statement. Frege's approach to knowledge was that what he wanted to say that correct approach to knowledge is the experience, and it supported empiricist. While this claim was against the rationalist who said that the correct approach to knowledge is the reason. So when Frege he solidified the empiricist argument, after that there was a role of a conscious observer in mathematics. Now mathematics is not independent. Now it depends on the observer. Then the Russell he came up with the idea. Russell, he suggested that it is possible to speak of golden mountain and this truth can be verified, but it is not necessary to verify the truth. He meant that truth can be verified by experience, but one need not to carry the burden of that experience. One need not to experience the truth. It is not necessary. So the statement like the golden mountain is very high, this example we had taken in the previous video. The golden mountain is very high. This statement can be transformed or rewritten as there exists a thing such that the thing is the mountain and it is golden and it has the property of being high. Now, what is this existence? It is indeed empirical because we are claiming something exists in the world. And by introducing existence within the statement, the meaning of the statement now points to reality. What Russell wanted to say that if the statement does not correspond to the fact, then it does not become meaningless. Because meaning is the claim it makes about the world. If the claims are false, then the statements are false, but not meaningless. So, in Russell's view, statements are meaningful because they make some claims. And if these claims are proven, then the statement is true. So Russell, he is connecting meaning with the world without reducing meaning to the fact. Assume that we are narrating a Harry Potter story. So are we making any claim? No, definitely no. We are not making any claim. So even these false things, the straightforward false things will not stop the reader. It will not deter the reader to stop because they find some meaningful. Okay, they find it meaningful in these false things also. So readers, they know that fiction is meaningful even when it is not making any claims about the real world. So we can know the meanings even if it doesn't really exist. Therefore, it is wrong to convert all statements into claims about existence of fact. So one might say that Russell's theory is not applicable to work of a fiction, okay? So work of a fiction, okay? Work of a fiction, how it is different from the work of a theorem. How, I mean, through through Harry Potter's example, we understand, but then Russell is not talking about this fictional thing. He's talking about mathematics theorem. But then how fiction is different from this theorem? But actually speaking, work of a theorem is just like work of a fiction. Okay, it is internally consistent, but yet it cannot be proved empirically. So Russell's conversion of statements into claims does not work as a theory of meanings. By suggesting that meanings are claims about truth, Russell he made a distinction between meaning and truth. So from Russell's perspective, one have to discard literature and poetry because they don't make truth claims. Now there are further issues with the Russell's theory which is arising when a statement is not making a definite claim at all times. So like for example, Aristotle as a Plato student or as Alexander's teacher. So these two description of Aristotle is actually leading to two statements. That is, Aristotle is a Plato student. Second one, Aristotle is Alexander's teacher. So, if we apply the law of equal, okay, if we apply the law of equal by the law of equal, this two statement is true. So the statement becomes Plato's student is Alexander's teacher. Plato's student is Alexander's teacher. So this statement is actually true in specific case of Aristotle only. Okay, Plato's student is Alexander's teacher. This is applicable in a very specific case for Aristotle only. And if we treat the statement to mean as every Plato student is Alexander's teacher, then it is false. Because not all of Plato's students were Alexander's teacher. Okay, Aristotle was one of the student of Plato and he was the teacher of Alexander. So, Russell, he presumed that every statement will have a single interpretation or meaning and it shall point to a single empirical fact. But then statement like this can actually point to multiple facts and then the claim about existence is actually not true. The difference in meaning that comes from one and all becomes very clear when we reverse the subject and object in the statement. So if we try to reverse the statement, okay, so what was the statement? This statement, if I try to reverse, Aristotle is Plato student. So what I am going to get is the Plato's student is Aristotle. Okay. And this one, Alexander's teacher is Aristotle. Now both the statements are false. Okay. Because Aristotle was not the only student of Plato. Plato had student beside Aristotle. And Aristotle is Alexander's teacher. By reversing it, we get Alexander's teacher is Aristotle. So this is also false because Alexander, he had teacher beside Aristotle. So statement like this, Aristotle is Plato's student, this claim is correct, okay, in for the definite case of Aristotle. But if we reverse it, that Plato's student is Aristotle, so this is not correct because Plato, he has student beside Aristotle. Similarly, Aristotle is Alexander's teacher. Okay, so this statement is correct again in specific case for Aristotle. But if I reverse it, that Alexander's teacher is Aristotle, this is not correct. Okay, because Alexander, he had teacher beside Aristotle. So the only way we can get out of this problem is if we differentiate between meaning of the word Aristotle with the person Aristotle. So this distinction of meaning and truth of the word Aristotle is actually, it was actually instituted by Frege. So see, try to understand this example that we are discussing. It is actually applicable for the person Aristotle. Okay, if we don't keep the distinction of the person Aristotle and the meaning Aristotle, okay, then there is no problem. But for the person Aristotle, we are discussing this example, so it is applicable for that case. But for the meaning of the word Aristotle, this problem would have not arisen. So this distinction of meaning and truth of the word Aristotle is actually, it was actually instituted by Frege. So no matter how we look at this, the distinction between meaning and truth is inevitable. So it appears that every logically proven theorem will not find its application in the real world. And this is demonstrated in the fact that mental ideas may not correspond to the things in the real world. And it is shown that meaning of a statement does not tell that meaning of that statement is true or not. So, in many ways, the distinction between meaning and truth was known outside mathematics. And mathematicians believe that it is not going to come to them. And it did not occur to people that mathematics and ordinary language, they are both methods of framing sentences. And the problems of ordinary language, it can crop up in mathematics as well. So there are two ways in which the problems of ordinary language can recur in the mathematics. Is that? So the two ways in which the problems of ordinary language could recur in mathematics is by making statement about other statement such that the truth of a statement is empirical, and if the relation between subject and object is reversed. So given that the truth of an empirically referential statement cannot always be demonstrated, the theory is incomplete. So from the A, we get the incompleteness of a theory. And given that in the case of a reversal, the claims may be false, so we get the inconsistency of the theory. Okay, so from the B problem, we get inconsistent theory. Okay, so with this, we stop our video. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you.